and shit. Yeah, I was about to make a very big mistake. You can like easily look it up and oh my gosh, it came out. Shit. It's on the ground somewhere. But yeah, so yeah, being an American, I'm kind of insensitive to other people's cultures and customs, but I try to learn as much as I can. And visual novels are a great way to do it because sometimes they're more insightful than actual video games or other forms of media. You know, can't learn everything from Battlestar Galactica or Star Trek, but you can learn a lot. You can learn a bit. Not a lot, but a bit. A bit about a lot. Okay, so anyway. So, hey, Lena. Looking good. Still looking good. Shit, I'm always complimenting her. Okay, so let's go. Let's see. It's time to make a decision. And that decision is to Slavia sighed, smiled tightly, and went to the kitchen with a look of apology. Pass me that one, please. She pointed at the farthest jar. Having extended my arm, I managed to knock off some dust, but still couldn't reach it. Give me a sec. Wait. Could have thought it out myself. She flitted into the living room, leaving me alone. She seemed strange. The jars, the jam. Even those rare days when I was invited to the feast by some of my few acquaintances, and the jam was served as a dessert tea. It was from stores most of the time. Only Lena had everything homemade, and the taste of her food had always been magnificent. There could be no comparison of it, and the artificial flavor of jars with shiny labels. Lena had returned to the kitchen with a small stool and an apologetic smile. Here, take it. Oh, my pointer was just in between her cleavage. Oh, yeah. So, no, I must resist. I can't. Lena, I want to ravage your body, but not in front of Slavia, because apparently we're a thing, and we were a thing. But you know what they say, on again, off again. We could always get back together. That one fling in the camp. But that was the past. This is now. We're different. I'm not gonna turn this into Emily's Away because that's a whole nother kind of worms. That's like, whoa, that goes like really deep into shit. It's like it's very meta. This is like it's not that meta, but there's like some meta stuff going on. But you know, yeah. Here, take it. The stool made the task casual. Throughout the whole process, Lena was solicitously standing nearby, ready to help if something happened to me during the transportation. I accidentally made a wrong move on an unstable surface, and at the same moment, she carefully snapped me up. Do you need assistance with anything else? I asked when the jar was already on the table, and I finally stood on the stable floor. Well, could you open it? She handed me the opener. The opener? The hell is that? It's like a can. No, it's not a can opener, is it? Because if it's a jar, it's got like that lid on it that's like really like stuck to. You know, yeah, sorry. I was reading through a lot of tax documents before starting this back up, so you'll have to forgive me. My voice is kind of attuned for American phrasing, not like translated ones. Yeah, the two styles are really different. Not so much though. Slavia hasn't returned to the kitchen. Instead, she stayed with Masha in the living room. I was sitting in the kitchen, carefully drinking the hot tea thoughtfully served by Lena, who was bustling about near the cooker, watching the meat pie. As would make the smell in the oven, frying, cooking something that made me swallow my saliva time after time. Time after time. And then I slapped myself back to. Wait, no. And then I slapped myself even harder back into reality in the face in frustration. I forgot I had to hand her the present. Damn it. How could I be so stupid? Well, even the Prince of Saiyans has a off day every once in a while. I've already exchanged some shiny boxes with the other girls during our afternoon shopping, except for Lena, who seemed not to leave the apartment for the last 2 days, getting ready for the guests. I forgot something. Wait a minute. And entered the hallway, feverishly looking around, trying to remember where I had put it. I found the small box in the inner pocket of a jacket that had been negligently thrown on a chair in the living room. Slaviana and Masha were talking about something connected with show business. Judging by the short fragments of their conversation, I couldn't care less about their conversation, and I decided to hurry back into the kitchen, because things were heating up. Here. Finally, Happy New Year. Lena turned around, all pissed and shit, and saw a tiny parcel in my hand. Thanks? She took the box and, after trifling with it for a bit, put it on the windowsill. And that's all. You won't even open it? It even hurt me to get the exactly planned present for her. I had to search half the city, visit a lot of small shops, and hug in huge malls, and she just put it aside without even opening it. Well, sometimes that happens. You know, she's got a lot on her plate. I mean, she's got to cook dinner, and she's got to make sure everything's right with the Olivier salad. Then you're giving her the script, and she's like, thanks, but no thanks, and she's wearing that. So clearly she's trying to make a statement, but but seeing as I'm the only guy invited to the party, and Electronic and Shuri were kind of I want to say delisted. Say, why weren't they invited? I mean, come on, they could have livened shit up, man. Like, yo, would have been like talking about robots and be like, yo, I built like a giant Gundam. He's like, yeah. It's like, you built a Gundam, I built the Gundam, I built Gundam Wing Biatch. Well, I should say not the Gundam, but you know, not Gundam Wing, like Wing Zero. Ugh. That's what I think. That's what Shriek was saying. Electronic was like, one of them was like, yeah, well, you built Wing Zero, but I built Escaflowne. And then Electronic or either Shriek would come back and say like, yo, it's like, oh, so you built a mech that actually can harm its pilot. It feeds off the blood of its pilot and yet can still harm him in battle, in which the pilot actually receives the damage that the mech receives. So in order for Escaflowne to effectively be used in battle, it has to be used flawlessly by its pilot. Otherwise, if it sustains an injury in which the pilot is mortally wounded, then that pilot is fucked. However, in the Wing Zero, if the pilot is, say, incapacitated, the pilot can put the Gundam into autopilot mode and the Gundam can still kick ass. Ergo, saving the pilot. And then eventually the conversation turns to Evangelion and whether or not, you know, it's like, you know how that conversation goes. You start talking about Max, and then you enter Gundam, then you talk about Escaflowne, and then it goes to Evangelion, and that's where shit hits the fan. Alright, I digress. Strange. It seemed that we got along with her so well. Even better than with the other girls. This estrangement seems weird. Yeah. I stared at the table, deep in my thoughts, leaving the last cup of tea to cool off. It's hardly been a while, but all of us here, we've changed. Someone almost insensibly, and someone quite significantly. Oh, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? She stood in front of me, staring at me, having abandoned the cooking. It's nothing. Everything's alright. Yeah, Simeon, it's like, unfortunately, you can't swing that like a girl can. It's like, when a girl says everything's alright, nothing's alright. Something is fucked up. And when they say it's nothing, it's definitely not nothing. So when you say it's nothing, she's gonna say, okay, yeah. But then again, since she's like so smart, basically smart people have the tendency to have a a deficiency in common sense. So, yeah, it actually depends on the person and their exposure to other people. If they're exposed to a lot of people, then their common sense is kind of on par with everybody else's. But if not, if they're like inside a bubble all the time, then you know they have like zero common sense. And they always like think things out logically, kind of like a Vulcan. The logical way is the best way. Maybe she's just waiting for the New Year's to come to open it then. Yeah, probably. A weak reassurance, actually. Tell me, don't you miss it? I mean, everything that's happened. Lena cast her eyes down. Well, that doesn't look like she's casting her eyes down. That looks like I like that. Nice, Lena. Let me run my fingers through your hair real quick. No! I must resist. It's that dress, damn it. Now I know why she wore it. She knew I couldn't resist. Maybe I do. It seemed that she wanted to add something, even breathe some air, but remained silent. I was about to finish my tea and leave. She said, "And you, do you miss it?" Oh, you mean the wild sex parties? Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? I replied automatically but truthfully, even though I didn't have enough time to think over her question. I do miss it sometimes. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not living in dreams. I like the reality much more, but sometimes I reminisce. It was so easy, so carefree there. It was much easier to make decisions and say things I wouldn't dare say here. I realized that I had talked a bit too much immediately shut up. And then looked at Lena, expecting to see a smile or a vacant look, but she was watching me closely. Her eyes wide open, eyes wide shut. It seemed that she wanted to say something, but this time didn't have enough courage, and I continued to stare at the old, shabby, and scratched tabletop that we banged on last year. I wonder if she has anyone, not just a friend or an acquaintance like me, but someone much closer. Like Jude Law. No, not Jude Law, but damn, what was his name? I think it was Jude Law. No. Sorry. Yeah, it was Jude Law. I'm thinking of someone else. I'm trying to think of the movie Closer, but I'm getting cross thoughts from Enemy at the Gates and Facilities Heights 7. And it's like, yeah, I think that was Jude Law too. Yeah. It's like both like his images from Closer and that other movie is like just kind of crossing together, and it's like my brain's struggling to find an answer that already knows the answer to, but it's like just denying itself because it's like double checking and triple checking. But you know, after those events, I couldn't become more than friends with any of the girls. Maybe we were hesitating because of our past. Maybe because of the other pioneers. But eventually, I have returned to my lonely, although not so hopelessly dull life. Even managed to find a job. Began to go out and talk to other people more often. Sure, it wasn't a heaven on earth, but I didn't blame my fate for that. I like these maybe not so fast-paced butt changes. And still, I had some emptiness in my soul, as if I lacked something important and bright in my life. But what was it? I couldn't even understand myself. Something that makes you want to wake up earlier and, for example, get up and make a delicious breakfast while humming a simple tune. Or on the contrary, lie in for a bit longer thinking about something good. Reminisce. I'm headed in a totally wrong direction. I shook my head, just as if trying to shake out those thoughts. After all, it's one of the most important holidays of the year. Or is it? Somehow I remembered one of the latest graduate meetings. No, I wasn't bored at the moment, and the girls weren't strangers to me. On the contrary, I was the reason for it. I was the reason of it. I was still trying to evade any kind of company, even a company of people who were so close to me. Dude, this guy's a drama queen. Dude, out of everyone in this apartment, you have the most estrogen right now. Holy shit. The floor quietly creaked under my feet when I got up and headed for the hallway. Oh yeah, Jack is in the living room. Slavia diverted from her quiet talk, while Masha looked at me with surprise. She's like, why are you playing with your hair so much? I know it's like all those signs. I know you want me. Say, I know you want me, baby. I know. Say, I know you want me, baby. I think I want you too. Hey, where are you going to? I'm going for a walk. Gotta get some fresh air. It's getting kind of stuffy in here. Trying to escape her glance, I went back to the hallway and started pulling my shoes on. Hands couldn't deal with the fastener. I was snorting and getting more and more angry. Can't even leave like a normal person. God damn it! Having finally dealt with my shoes, I stood up and looked and locked eyes with Lena. She was silently watching me with some unrenderable look in her eyes. A mix of fright, surprise, and something else. Lust. Something incomprehensible, but sad. That doesn't look like a sad look. It's not a look of concern. It's a slight look of concern, but it's not like the concern he's explaining. Leaving already? She asked quietly. No. Just going for a short walk around the block. Get a pack of cigarettes from the store. I forced a fake smile, trying to hide the awkwardness of my current state, even though I realized that she could see right through me. Only she could do it this way. Wait, I'm coming with you. What for? I'm going for a walk too. Fuck it. Food's cooking itself, basically. So yeah, just fuck it. Do you mind? Do I mind? On one hand, yes, I wanted to be alone for a while. You know, jack off silently in a corner, in a dark alley, to a picture view. But on the other, of course I don't. Dress yourself, I'll wait. During all the time we've known each other, I managed to realize one thing. It's really hard for me to say no to Lena. Any protest, every objection were crushed. Should I just look into her kind, sharing with some sort of magic green eyes, smile and say, of course? That was the time when I was, oh god, no. Fuck you. Wow. It's like that one word turns me off. It makes me soft to the core. Say, yeah, it can make my raging boner go real soft, real fast. Like, and what has changed since? You coming? Lena's voice made me snap out of hypnotizing. Okay, Lena's voice made me snap out of a hypnotizing stream of thoughts. She has already flung on her light coat, put on her boots, and we left the apartment. I like how that coat makes her unsexy. Like, damn. It's like, yeah, you're hot, but damn, that coat is. Yeah, there's no way you can make that coat hot. No. Sorry, I'm sorry, Lena. It's like the dress, the glove, actually the long gloves. Oh yeah, that was slamming. I like that shit. That shit was hot. But this coat, hell no, that is not hot. Now, if you take off your coat like Secret did in that music video, Poison. Oh hell yeah, then I like that coat. Fuck yeah, that was hot. You know, it was called Poison by the band Secret. Yeah, go check the video. It's really hot. So what? Oh, that's another good song by oh god, was it Far East Movement? So what? I remember a Korean girl dancing to that song. She was by herself in her apartment and she was dancing sexy. I was like, oh yeah. It was hot. That was so hot. So, we're going all over the place. So, we started off in Japan with some Dragon Ball Z. Then we went to both the UK and Russia for a glimpse into Closer and Enemy at the Gates. And we got some idiot behind me on a damn dirt bike. Then now we're back in Asia with Far East Movement with So What? Talking about a girl dancing by herself in an apartment. And she was doing good too, man. Till she I think saw her reflection and she was like, oh shit. She got nervous. Well, not nervous, but she was became a bit embarrassed because she's like, oh yeah, she does. Like, it's like she knows what she's doing is sexy with that. Like at that one moment when she saw what she was doing in a mirror, she was like, oh shit. She's like, yeah, it's so sexy, it made her embarrassed. Like, yeah. It's like, don't be embarrassed, embrace it. It's like, flaunt it. I mean, what, you Asian women are considered sex goddesses now. Come on. The new sex goddess. But then everyone has a sex goddess. Every country in the world has a sex goddess. So, yeah. Like Lena, she's like, she didn't have to wear that purple dress. I mean, she could have wore something else. I mean, the creators of the game, the creators of this novel could have made her wore something else. But they decided on that because, you know, it's a sexy little number that, you know, she knew Simeon was going to come by, and when he saw her in that, it's like, damn, you know, you couldn't resist her. And then, too, she could also be wearing it because she knew Slavia was coming over, as well as Simeon, and she knew that they had, you know, kind of a spark at the camp. But she also had feelings for Simeon, but she kind of kept it, like, reserved and under wraps. But, you know, now that they're outside and they're living their own life, you know, at university or doing bigger and better things in job markets, you know, they can, you know, be a little bit more adventurous. You see, Lena's like, she's a lot of fun when she comes out of her shell, so yeah. Alright. She asked when she stepped outside. Nothing? I shrugged. And what should have happened? I don't know. I just thought you might want to talk, you know? In private. I go up to a snow-covered bench, threw the white stuff off, and sat in the iced seat. Somewhere in the distance, a car had started its engine. Well, it wasn't a car. I could recognize the sound out of 1,000 other ones. An old Liaz. The last one of the route, number 410. Sorry, pal, not today. The grumble of the engine has become louder and more distant, as if it hurt my thoughts. Of course I was curious, but I had nothing to do there anymore. Lena was standing beside a New Year tree, emptily looking in front of her. Suddenly, something hurt my chest, something strange, but so familiar. Like during those old evenings they didn't actually exist. When I tired and exhausted, not even able to turn on the TV and disconnect from this world for a short 4 hours. And Lena sitting near me, caressing my hair and singing something softly, as if trying to cradle me. Kids, we could have been a family. We could have been something. But you had to toss all that away. All because of your crime boss, Kiryu! Kiryu. Every time I hear his name, he's like a freaking god. He is no god. He is just a man. He bleeds. He can die. I don't care if he's a dragon of Dojima. I will take over the Tojo clan. And I will rule all of Japan. Oh, wait, sorry, that's something else. Yeah. It could have been a family. Why are we still living apart and meet only on holidays? After all, parents and I are here to look at sense at us. Yell, forbid anything. Why haven't we done anything yet? One more look at the girl. A breath. a heartbeat. It's time to finish you off. Lena! My voice hoarsened at once, and dry throat weren't helping these kinds of confessions in any way, but I managed to grab her attention. What? Don't you dare to stop now! I've waited for a long time to say this. My hands were brokenly fumbling in my pockets. Where the hell is it? And then it felt like I was splashed with a barrel of cold water. The small box and the shiny parcel was left in the kitchen. What's left in the kitchen? I'm sorry, I left it at yours. Gonna bring it back, wait. My legs ushered me to the porch, as suddenly I heard a voice from behind. Simeon, wait! I turned around. Lena was standing, holding something tiny with a careful bow on top of it in her hands. Were you searching for this? The Dragon Ball? Let me stop with that. Yes. I slowly headed back, picking the right words at the move. You know, it's kind of hard for me to say it all the way. Straight off. My eyesight was stuck somewhere at the level of her feet. Those suede boots look nice, but the dress is even nicer. Must be expensive ones. I wonder, where did she get the money for them? I mean, she is in her third year of medical school, so maybe she's taking internships at hospitals, or maybe she actually has a minor role in a hospital, type job. That's just me. Quit prevaricating. Today, on the kitchen, when I asked, about what happened, I remember. Well then, wouldn't you like to, come on. But my brain acted as paralyzed, picking the opposite of what I need to say. Millions, billions of phrases, and everything is so wrong. I would. She softly, kindly smiled to me. Then, Simeon? Simeon! Lena! Where are you? The speech has already started. Echo from the direction of the house. We're coming. She shouted in response. So, what do you want? Here. I pointed at the box she was still holding in her hand. I quickly remembered the small store and the tiny sum of a price tag. Of course, the contents weren't intended for what's going to happen. What was going to happen happened. Damn! Even thoughts flounder. May I? Yeah, take it. The box was now in my palm. The bow was the hardest part. Hands are shaky. Empty. Knees weak, hands are sweaty. Just vomit on the sweater already. Mom spaghetti. Yeah! There we go. Hands were shaking. And even the bow itself was just glued. It was actually tied to the box. God damn the service. So he's complaining that the service was too good, whereas most times, it's kind of really shitty. But then I finally opened it and pulled out a small but elegant pendant on a chain. Pendant on a chain. Take it. I figured you like it. She twisted it in her hands and smiled. Thank you. A small emerald, strikingly green, just as her eyes, glistened beautifully under the light of the lampposts. An awkward silence fell. I was perplexed, looking somewhere aside, not knowing what to say, and Lena, she's always silent. Except in bed. Oh, yeah. Listen, sorta, maybe. Come on, Simeon, come on. There's nothing hard in it, just a couple of words. So I thought... And I kept silent and, with a smile, was watching me hopelessly trying to control my speech. Eat? Do you eat? That's the best you could come up with, Simeon. You son of a bitch. Yes, Simeon, I do eat, because if we don't eat, we die. And of course, as you all know, people die when they are killed. Correct? She laughed. And you will someday, not necessarily now, but in general, as a matter of principle, wouldn't like to, you know, together someday. I would. I was astonished while she was standing and smiling. I mean, it's just dinner, right? I mean, everybody eats. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. Thank you. Let's go back. She asked softly and offered me a hand. My eyesight was still somewhere at the ground level. My thoughts could be compared to the swarm of scattering cockroaches. Cockroaches! Yes. It's been a long time since I left you. But that I do beat the step 2, the step 2, the step 2, the step 2, to step 2, to steps 2, to step 2. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Like that. I was distracted by Lena taking my hand, herself, and gently pulling me, leading me to the porch, which led to an elevator, which led to our apartment, which led to our bedroom. See how I'm escalating this? It's escalating! Yeah, let's go! We stopped by the door. Lena tapped her pockets and searched for keys. The door replied by beeping rhythmically when a magnet chip touched the plate. I gallantly opened it in front of Lena, but she didn't hurry inside. She froze at the doorstep as if thinking something over. Well, I couldn't finish my sentence because Lena made a step towards me. A warm kiss has imprinted on my cheek. I just stood there, breathless and astonished. I wanted to reach for her as well, but she has already stepped inside, smiling archly. A second, and it's the same shy girl in front of me as she was before, but my cheeks still contain the feels given by the kiss. Ah. Thanks again. And again she smiled. You're welcome, Simeon. Oh. And I felt that awesome changes are coming in my life. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the first time I read this through, it's like, I almost felt like they had like a history with each other, because in the Everlasting Summer, they hit it off, but it's like, not to, the extent he thought they would. And this is kind of like confirming that, because basically, after camp, they kind of went their separate ways, and then basically Simeon hooked up with Slaviana, and for some reason, they kind of separated out again, but they remained friends, so it's kind of like an on again, off again thing, because he was like, he had like the bounce between both girls, but I don't know. They might just put more into the story than I need to.